Welcome back to the Silly Kitchen. Today I'm going to take you through a summer recipe. When you think of summer, you don't think of soup. Soup season is fall and comfort and winter food. But I've always wanted to try to make a cold soup. And I did once. I made gazpacho once, a tomato and cucumber kind of based cold soup. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I love cucumber. I love tomato, I love all the flavors, but in a cold soup, it just did not work for me. I tried a few different times, a few different recipes that I found online, and I didn't love it. So I thought, why don't I try something a little more creamy, a little bit more summery, and I think a cold pea soup is just what soup lovers need in the summer. Even though this is a cold soup, we are gonna do a little bit of cooking, so let's head over to the stove top. Melt a little bit of butter in your pot, and we're gonna add in onions and garlic. Doesn't matter how you chop them, as long as they're similar size. And we're gonna cook those onions out until they're translucent and start developing a little bit of color. I don't wanna overcook them and I don't wanna undercook them, so finding that happy medium within about 10 to 15 minutes of cooking on low heat should do it. Now, once we've got that done and we've got that flavor built on the bottom of the pan, we're gonna add in a bag of frozen peas. I just wanna stir this in to warm up the peas. I don't wanna overcook this part because we are going to remove the entire pot off the heat, move it onto the other side of the stove, and continue building our cold soup. We're gonna add in a bunch of vegetable stock all the way until your peas are just barely covered. We don't wanna put too much because it'll be too runny. And of course, let's season with some salt and pepper at this point. Let's get blending. If you have an immersion blender, this is the way I go because immersion blender goes right in the pot, less dishes. But if you wanna transfer it into like your fancy blender and get a really velvety kind of texture on there, go ahead and do that. Once you've got that blended up, this is where I like to add equal parts of yogurt and sour cream to get that creaminess into the soup. Now, if you are more of a heavy cream or milk fan, that works as well, and just eye it out until you get the consistency that you want. Keep blending and making sure that you've got all of those chunks out, all the onions are blended out, because that is it and you are done. Now, even though I said, yes, it's all done, that's all you have to do, I do recommend putting it in the fridge before serving it just to get it to that ideal temperature. I put it in containers and then I can take it out as I want it for decor and presentation. If you are hosting or you're serving this to friends and family, I like to swirl a tiny little bit of extra sour cream on the top and then a little bit of olive oil, and it just looks so beautiful. You know, your eyes eat first is what they say. So if you are a soup fan and you aren't in the mood to make some hot piping soup because it is summertime, I hope you try this pea soup recipe. Thank you so much for joining me on the Silly Kitchen, and happy hot summer days and cold soups in your face. I don't even know why I said that. That's ridiculous. Okay, I'm terrible at jokes. I'm obviously not a poet, but I hope to see you again soon.